everybody's day today?
Good.
Great. Okay, so we're just going to get out moving on real fast. Yeah, and we're just going to plow through this today. So we're going to do quite a bit of this song, but I think you guys are definitely capable of doing so. So if you look at section A, where the big ol' A is on the first page, you see where it says solo or selected unison voices. We're just going to scratch that, and I want everybody, part 1 and 2, to sing section A and B. And if we get to see, if you see on the next page, that we do split into parts. Part 1 and 2 sing their own thing. But for now, A and B, I want everybody to sing the exact same thing, because it is the melody of the song, and I do think it would be quite beneficial if everybody learned the melody of this song. Okay, so like I said, we're going to plow through this, and we're going to sing A and B, but we're just going to do it on a nice do. We're not going to do any of the words right now, and we're going to take it pretty slow, a lot slower than intended, maybe like for learning purposes, of course. And I will play your notes for you. So this is where you guys start, okay? And, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you go to the next page, where it has the big old C, so that is where we're going to split into parts. In part 1, if you notice, you're pretty much singing the exact same thing that you did in parts A and B. You still have the melody, but part 2, you guys have a different part. So we're going to do the same thing that we just did, where we play your parts and you guys are singing on a nice rounded do. And we're going to go maybe even a little bit slower than we just did, or around the same, because your guys' part is a little bit different. So maybe we're just about the same, but I think you guys can handle that. Okay, so you guys want to start the same note that you did first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, just a second. Just part 2. You guys just sit back for a while. I'm sorry I didn't say that. Just part 2. That's okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Part 2. Sorry guys. So part 1, I know that, like I said before, that you guys have the melody still, so I don't want to quite go over your part, because I think you guys got it, because you guys did such a great job the first time. But there are rhythmically like 2 exceptions to this that are a little bit different than the first time. If you want to look at that, do you think you can point out to me, like rhythmically, what might be slightly different than what you sang before? Just part 1.
You don't have the little notes. the third measure, there's a dotted half note.
That is true, yes, but there is a very slight difference in two places where it's the last measure of C on page 3. You are singing 2 eighth notes instead of the little 16th run in the beginning, and that happens in both places where it says calls to me and yesterday on page 4. So just look out for that part 1. So it's not going to move quite as fast. It's going to sound like this. I'm just going to start on C where it says calls to me. So it's going to sound like this. And not da-da-da-da. It's a little bit different. So just look out for that. But I think you guys are ready to sing this together, and I will attempt to play both parts, and we'll probably go a little bit slower just for my sake, to be honest. Okay, so you guys are both going to start on the same note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and undo again. Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Botched piano playing, but you know what? You guys held on and you sang that 100% accurate. So good job. I could have very well messed you up and thrown you off, but you guys stayed strong even with my terrible piano skills. So great job, you guys. Okay, so now I want to move on to the next little piece that we have in section E on page 5. So it's a little bit different than what we're used to, and as you can see, we're all just singing an ahs. We're doing a little vocalese here, so nobody really has a melody. Like part 1 kept up with the melody and you guys split in harmony, but you guys are all just doing your own thing, different times. There's no really set melody. And I want you to notice something in E before we start singing. So part 1, you see that in the middle of 5 on the last measure that you have a C natural. And you haven't sung a C natural in this whole time in this piece. So when you see the natural sign coming from the D to the C natural, are we going to sing a whole step lower or a half step lower? What do y'all think?
Whole step.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not going to be that far apart, but it's going to be farther apart than there would be a half step. So just remember to go slightly lower when you see that natural sign in there. And for part 2, you guys have a little bit more to deal with here. So you see on the bottom of 5 where your first natural sign is from the A to the G natural. So like I said, when you see the natural sign, just go a whole step lower. So you have, so it's a little bit lower than you might anticipate, but you see later that you have a G sharp again. It's the next to the last measure in 5. So are we going to go a half step lower or a whole step lower with our G sharp?
From A to G sharp?
Yes.
A half step.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a lot closer in interval distance. So you're going to have to do a lot of back and forth between the whole step and then the half step. So just remember that as you're singing through this and going back and forth. All right, so I want to work with part 1 first because I've been sitting very patiently for a while. And I want to start going into E on my way. So I want you guys to do, when you start on my way, just sing the words my way. And when you get into the ahs, just sing ah. There's no point doing do because there's already a syllable there for you. Okay, so we're going to start right before that on my way. This is your pitch, so